In this video, we will be sharing the exact things that made the biggest difference in our game. Simple things that everybody can do that separate the average players from the ones that improve very fast.
So tip number 1 is record yourself. This is actually one of the simplest and easiest things that you can do, but it makes a massive difference. As much as you think you're doing something, you don't actually know until you see yourself. The other day, for example, I was training my smash and Alba kept telling me, stop dropping your body when you smash. And I could have sworn that I wasn't doing it. Not until I recorded myself and actually saw what I was doing wrong was I able to see and understand and then make the change. So try it, record yourself, trust me, it really makes a difference. And you don't need a fancy camera to do it, all you need is your phone and one of these sticky pads. This works perfectly. I got it off of Amazon for a couple dollars, super cheap, very easy to use. Let me show you. So I find that it works the best when it's a little bit wet. I was trying it when it wasn't wet and sometimes it was dropping. Now that I wet it a little bit before I stick it, it never drops. Like this. Make sure your glass is clean as well, of course. And then you can do the wide angle. So record yourself playing, record your lessons, and re-watch yourself. You'll be shocked at how many little habits you catch and how fast you'll improve once you start seeing what's really happening.
Tip number 2, learn Padel strategy and analyze your mistakes. You don't need the best technique to win matches. What you need is to play smart. Padel is a game of strategy and decision making. It's important to understand that the best players aren't the ones who hit better, but the ones who think better. So here's what I want you to start doing. Every time you lose a point, don't get frustrated, but analyze it. Ask yourself, why did I lose that point? Was I too slow getting to the net? Maybe I left a short lob so the other team could smash it super easy? Or what's the reason why I lost it? Make it your mission to understand every mistake, because when you do that, you start building real Padel IQ. And to give you something practical, I will give you 3 different strategies that you can start using right now. So the first strategy is that when you are at the volley, you want to be hitting to the same player all the time without changing directions easily, because you're going to achieve that that player gets overwhelmed and it's more easily that the player will give you an easy ball for you to be able to attack it. So once you attack it, yes, change direction or even hit to the same one. Another reason why this is super important as well is because every time you change direction, you and your partner have to change your spot in the court. So if you're hitting fast, you won't have enough time to switch fast enough, and that's going to open up a lot of spaces that the opponent can actually take advantage of. So the second strategy is to do a chiquita, and right after the chiquita, just walk a couple of steps forward until the opponent touches the ball, and then you stop, and then you want to keep moving forward until you take the net. So it's super important that you don't do a chiquita and stay in the back, because once you throw the ball to the feet, it's easier for them to do a drop shot. So you want to defend that possible drop shot. And another option too is that because the ball is below the net level, it's most likely that the ball can go high. So you want to walk and, touch it to win the point. After the chiquita, always go to the net. So the third strategy, imagine you are in a match and you have an easy ball, so you do a lob. A lot of players think that that lob will pass, but it doesn't. The opponent touched it before and they run too soon. So instead, what you want to do is you want to stay in the back and wait for the opponent to take the decision of either hitting it before, hitting it in the air, or let it pass. If the opponent let it pass, then yes, you can run to the net super fast to take the net position. But if they hit it before and you are a bit forward, you're actually giving them the advantage, because now it's very easy for them to hit to your feet. And from here, it's a very difficult ball for you to defend. So you always want to stay in the back, and then once the lob passes, then you run forward.
So the next tip is to play with people who are better than you. And I can't stress this tip enough. If you want to get better in Padel, if you want to level up in Padel, surround yourself with people that are better. And this applies to Padel, but it also applies to everything in life. If you want to challenge yourself, if you want to grow, hang out with people that are better than you. Hang out with people that are doing it the way that you would aspire to be doing it. So it's always easier on the ego if you're playing with people at your level or you're playing with people lower than you. You're going to win more points, you're going to feel better, but you're not going to grow as much. If you want to improve faster, challenge yourself, be uncomfortable, and play with players that force you to raise your game. And there are two big reasons for why this works. Reason number one, when you are playing with players that are better than you, you're almost forced to play more sharp, faster, and more focused. And you might have heard people say before, or maybe you've experienced yourself, that when you play with people that are better than you, you end up playing better yourself, versus when you're playing with people at a lower level. So this is actually biology. Your brain reacts faster when it's under pressure. When you have to use your brain is going to work. When you don't have to use your brain is not going to want to work. Our bodies are energy conservers. So we're always going to try and conserve energy where we can. And remember, a fish won't grow in a small tank, and growth happens in your uncomfort zone. The second reason is that we learn by watching. So if we're playing with players that are better than us, we are going to subconsciously pick up their right habits. You see how they move, how they prepare, how they decide, and that visual learning accelerates your growth. So personally, I really love playing with Alba because it's almost like I get two lessons in one. I get to hit my own ball and feel the ball for myself, and then I get to watch and focus on how she does it. Seeing things done over and over the correct way is definitely going to help you level up faster.
Point number 4, communication. Padel is a team sport, but a lot of players forget that. You can have great shots, good movement, and a very solid tactic, but if you don't communicate with your partner, it all falls apart. The best pairs are not only the ones with the strongest matches, are the ones who communicate good on the court as well. In every single point, you can always hear for good teams that they're always communicating, saying they're down, they're coming, they're very close to the net. They celebrate together, they pick each other up, and they make decisions together. And that's the key. You are two, you are a pair, you are a team, and you have to start playing like one, not as an individual player. When you don't communicate on the court, it's super difficult to actually play because, let's put this example. The opponent throws a lob and your partner is about to hit a bandeja or a víbora, and you don't say anything to your partner. You don't say if their opponents are back, they're coming, or where they're staying in the court. So your partner hits a víbora, but the opponents were coming to the net. So then they have the advantage because they're hitting the ball higher. If your partner would have known, maybe she would have changed the ball to the center, or instead of doing a víbora, she would have done a bandeja to the feet. It's super important that you both communicate constantly in almost every single ball that you hit. Sometimes it feels awkward at first to be talking all the time on the court, but I promise you that that's gonna make you play as a team and make you play way stronger. Next tip, master your lob. If there's one shot that can transform your level in Padel completely, that's the lob. If you master it, you can start winning matches with a level that is higher than yours. Because the lob controls everything. It changes defense to offense. It gives you time to recover. It forces your opponents to go back, and it gives you the opportunity to recover the net. Without having a good lob, you're stuck defending forever in the back of the court. And in the back, I'm telling you, you are not gonna win matches. A good lob is not about hitting it super high. It's about hitting it smart. There's a lot of different types of lob. You can hit high to the corner. You can hit a fast lob that goes through the left shoulder if it's a right-handed player, for example, of the opponent. And you want to choose what's better for each situation. For example, if you are in the back of the court and you're a bit trapped and you are not super comfortable, like the ball is easy enough to lob but not easy enough to make a great lob, then you're gonna do a fast lob instead of a very high because you won't have the time to go from the bottom of the ball up. So just play like if you're playing a forehand or a backhand and just finish your termination way higher so the ball goes up. The lob is the shot that lets a weaker player beat a stronger one. So practice it, get better at it, and please don't throw short lobs in your matches. Alright, so next point is use the wall. A lot of players, I include myself, think that the wall is the enemy, and more if you come from tennis. You have to try to use the wall into your advantage because every time you use the wall, you always gain time, and time is gold in Padel. Because the court is super small, the ball goes very fast. So as more time you can gain, as better decision you can make, and as better you can hit your shot. the wall makes you slow down the game as well. So in a situation where you are, in a rush, like they just hit into your feet, like try to go back, use the wall if it's possible, and slow that game down. Try to take advantage of it. A good rule of thumb is that when the ball bounces before the line, it's most likely that you want to hit it before. But if the ball bounces after the line, always you have exceptions, because if the ball goes super cut, maybe it won't reach the wall. But you have to see the speed and the effect of the ball. But like there's a bigger percentage that balls that bounce after the line, they reach the wall with no problem. Force yourself to learn how the ball bounces after the wall, like to learn the turns and be comfortable, because I swear that if you are comfortable with the walls, your level is gonna grow exponentially.
So this tip may not be the most entertaining to listen to, as I don't have a fun clip to go along with it, but I will tell you that this point, in my opinion, is the most important tip in this video. So if you're gonna listen to any of the tips here, make it be this one. And that is your mindset. I'm pretty new to paddle myself. I just started maybe over a year and a half ago now. And my goals are very big. So I've made it my mission and my job to try and figure out how to level up as fast as I possibly can. And what I've noticed is that there's a little bit of a trend. I tried to figure out why certain people level up faster than others. Obviously, the people that have the tennis background or the racket sport background do level up a lot faster, and that's just kind of common sense. Then I noticed as well that men tend to level up a lot faster than women. And I really don't think it has anything to do with strength or being taller, because I've seen other men that are, have even smaller physiques than women, but they still tend to level up faster. I've been a personal trainer since 2015. And what I've noticed between my men and my women are that men tend to have a little bit more ego. For example, whenever I used to give my fitness assessment, men would work until the point that they're almost about to throw up, and I never had that issue with women. And I have to say that I don't think ego is great at all, especially in regular life, but I do think to a certain extent in sport, and in order to level up fast, it kind of forces you or drives you to challenge yourself more than others. Like, for example, guys have this ego. Like, if girls do something better than them, they're like, that's not acceptable. Like, I need to do it better than the girl. Like, I don't know what it is. I guess it's ego, having to do it better, faster, stronger. Like, they're more hungry for it. And I think that's what drives them to level up a little bit faster. I just noticed that, like, girls kind of don't care as much. And I'm not speaking for all women or all girls, all guys, because I myself, I think I'm wired a little bit different. Like, I have that more hungry mentality where, like, I need to do it the best. And I guess the summary or the point of this tip is that you need to challenge yourself more. You can't be afraid to try things that are hard. If you see somebody that is doing something that makes you nervous or, intimidates you, use that as motivation instead of letting it scare you from trying. Take Alba, for example, and she sets the bar really hard for me. I see her doing her vibora, her smash, and I want to do it like that instead of letting it intimidate me or I can't play with her because, she's way better. I do the opposite. I'm like, no, I want my vibora and I want my smash to look like hers. So I'm gonna do more to make that happen. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's changing your mindset to see challenge and maybe even things that scare you a little or intimidate you into motivation instead of suppressing you or stopping you from trying. So I guess the take-home message is try everything. Try the hard things, try anything that comes in your way. Try everything in paddle. Like, paddle is a sport that has a lot of different aspects of the game that, you have to kind of put all together to be a good player. So I just encourage you to try the things that are hard. Try the things that challenge you and get good at those things as well. Master the things that you're great at, of course, but don't run away from the things that are difficult from you as well. I know that that's gonna make you level up way faster. And remember, improvement doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you decide to get uncomfortable, to learn, and keep showing up.
So don't wait to be good, work to be good.
Thank you guys for watching.
See you the next week.